practice last Tuesday. Had a really good practice. We have 10 returners, which it really excites me about the direction that we're going in. You know, winning the WBI and playing really well at the end of last year and kind of coming together and growing with those returners. We have 4 newcomers that I think are going to contribute to our program. You know, we brought in some new coaches. A little bit of change in philosophy. I'm going to take over the defense again, and there's going to be a lot of little changes on offense. You know, we really are approaching the offense philosophy differently than we have in the past. We have kids that are more mature, understand what we want, so it's a good thing. We open up in the exhibition on November 9th, LSUA here at the Cajun Dome, and then we open up on the road November 15th against Ole Miss, which is going to be a great challenge for us. We also play on November 22nd. We got University of Houston on the road, and then we go to an island tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and we open up with another SEC opponent in Arkansas. So that'll be a great test for us on the 26th. And then December 3rd we start conference. We got ULM on the road, and then we play a couple of non-conference games, and we start back on January 2nd. Again, we're excited. Our coaching staff is excited. We feel that we have kind of brought this program to a little bit higher level, and I mean, this is where it starts. Can we get it to the next level? Can we, you know, we want to compete for a conference championship, conference tournaments championship. Our main goal is to play in the NCAA tournament. Any questions?
What tweaks in offense?
Tweaks in the offense are going to be a little bit more structured. You know, we ran a little bit of 4-out last year, and it was kind of like unstructured kind. You know, it was like a lot of freedom. We put in a little bit more rules in. Catherine Catt comes from Sanford, which Jimmy Tillett and all those guys on the guys side were doing Princeton stuff, a lot of Princeton stuff. And we were really not doing the Princeton stuff, but it's kind of entries into it that we really like. That as a coach, I got an opportunity to coach against that we couldn't stop. And so we're adding some of those things. And, you know, a lot of high posts for, you know, our post player like Simone in Brooklyn fits into that system really good. So we feel that it's going to help us on the offensive side to get a little bit easier baskets, back cuts, and a little bit tougher to guard. I guess when they can't guard it, they'll go to a zone.
Can you talk about Simone's growth through the offseason and kind of what you've seen from her?
Yeah, wow. You know, it's just amazing for a young kid to come in and do what she did last year, especially toward the end of the season when we started using her the right way. But she's so strong, and I mean, you just look at her percentages and her stats and all that. I mean, she can make shots, you know. And I think she's gotten even better, you know. I mean, she's kind of expanded her game out. She'll be able to play a little bit more high post in that 1-4 out. And I think it's going to create a lot of openings for us, for Kiki and Kia and Jalen, to get some scores too. So yeah, it's just big. And you know, she rebounds well. She's very strong, and she's one of the hardest workers on the team. You know, so you know, the sky's the limit for her. We were really excited about her. And a couple of other kids, and you know, it gives an opportunity for the younger kids to kind of see how, you know, what can happen. And you come in and you work hard and get things to happen.
You kind of joked about teams will just go to the zone when things start clicking offensively. How big of a plus will having Silk back and kind of Jalen's progression to that WBI? It seems like they're on course to be more productive and more consistent three-point shooters.
Yeah, that's what we definitely we feel that this can happen. You know, Silk coming back. You know, she was a major scorer. I mean, she's right on target to break the three-point record here at UL, and you know, most of the three-pointers made. So you know, her coming back is going to help. But you know, Jalen can shoot the ball too. And before she had the concussion, she was on track, and then she kind of lost it, and then kind of came back. So it was inconsistent. But we need some consistency from her. We brought in a junior college kid, Taylor Washington. That's what she's her specialty. It's to knock down shots. So that'll help us. And you know, I feel that Kiki Veal and Kia has improved on a lot. They worked a lot this summer on trying to get some shots up and get more consistent and stuff. So I think it's going to be big. I really do. You know, but we need everybody to be healthy. You know, you're forgetting about Gabby Alexander, that's so so athletic, and just a lot of different pieces to this puzzle that we never had before. You know, I really believe we'll be 10 deep. How can we utilize those 10 deep? And you know, it's like ability. You know, we have the ability to work hard, and what about the availability? We have availability and staying healthy. So I think it's going to be a big thing this year.
Garry, how, if what you're hoping to do on offense happens or comes close to happen, how will that affect your approach on defense?
I think we're going to stay the same. You know, I think we're going to pressure the ball and you know, in the full, in the half. You ever notice, I mean, we're just not pressuring the ball in the full. We pressure it in the half. We never really sag off. And I don't remember the last time we played zone. You know, Louisiana Tech game we did a little bit. But, no, I don't think it's going to affect us that much. Because, you know, when it comes down to it, a good defensive team doesn't really want to guard them. You know, less possessions, you know. We don't want a lot of possessions on the defensive side. So we can find ways to kind of slow it down, even with a shot clock, you know. And some of those things will happen against like Troy's and all that. We got to be more prepared. And I think the maturity of this team can do that, you know. I think this is the first team that we have that'll be able to do some different things, you know, like slow it down. And, you know, we're laughing right now. We're running some stuff in practice, and we're getting the shot first 5 seconds, and we get that same shot the last 5 seconds. And so they're learning that, hey, you know, we got to be smart with them. With 20-point lead or down by 20, it's two different things. So I think that'll help.
We kind of know what we can expect from girls like Kia and Kiki. We've seen what they've been able to do. Is there one player, either veteran or newcomer, that you're expecting to kind of take that leap this year?
Yeah, I'm excited about the little freshman, Jordan Alexander. This is the first time we've recruited in Dallas area a lot. I've gotten some Dallas kids, but I never got a DFW kid, which means an AAU program in DFW. I mean, they are like the top in the country. And she comes out that program, and when a kid comes out that program, they are really, really good. And she's better than what I even expected. So one of my coaches, a couple of coaches called me and said, Coach, if you could build a basketball player, you would build Jordan. And I'm like, yeah. You know, she can guard anybody on the floor. She can put the ball on the floor. She can shoot the three. She can get to the rim. She's going to be an undersized stretch 4, but she's going to be a good one. She's right at 6 foot, strong. How consistent she's going to be, I don't know yet, but I'm like probably a little bit too excited about her. You know, and we got to get Jay going again too. Jalen Gordon could be really big for her. When we recruited her, we felt she was the best guard in the state, and you know, we just got to get her to do that.
Over your tenure here, when we've talked, it's been getting the girls to believe. Like last year, they started to believe that they could do it. What's the mindset now this year? Is it kind of title or bust, considering the way that this program's going to progress?
Yeah, we talked about it since the beginning. You know, during the summer and stuff. It's believing. You know, but they say belief is the mother of all reality. So we got to get them, and then they do. You know, we saw a little bit of results. You know, kids these days. You know, you can talk all you want and try to get them to believe, but you have to show them some results too. And I think we got a little bit of results in the WBI. It's not what we really wanted, but we had some wins. And you know, winning 23 games helps. But they do believe. They believe first of all in the defense. Now we got to get them to be comfortable. They're really uncomfortable right now in the offense. Now we got to find a way to get them comfortable and productive in it and stuff. So, you know, I really believe, especially our returners, believe in our coaching staff and just everything that the community does for us too. So.
Coach, you talked about Simone's rebounding and her physical toughness and her strength. For her, if she ends up away from the basket with the ball, is her working on her passing ability, is that kind of one of her projects or something that she's kind of trying to improve on?
Yeah, there's no doubt, especially if we're going to run some high post stuff for her. If we run 4-out 1 in and we have her at the high post, she's going to have to do a little bit better job of passing. And Coach Catherine Katz is in charge of what we call our hybrids, not the post. And they're working tremendously hard because she wants this offense to work tremendously hard on passing with our post players and hybrids and stuff like that. And I can see a big improvement in, you know, we actually, on Saturday, that's all we spent time on. And we guarded out, and they did a great job. And, you know, Simone's got to get better at it, though. That's one of the, if you think of a weakness, that might be one of her weaknesses that she's got to get better at. But, you know, it's making decisions, too. She's got a strong mind, strong body, and, you know, she's just got to continue to work on it.
When you get in a situation where maybe the shot clock is running down, I mean, Kiki and Kia, they have shown they can get by somebody at the top and penetrate and create something. Does that kind of make you feel good if you think, hey, if a play does break down, we can kind of revert to that, we can kind of maybe have somebody do something individually on situations where maybe the shot clock's running down?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I wish we could do like football and just let the clock run down, then start the play with under 10 seconds. But, you know, they're guarding us at that time. But, Yeah, I always felt that, and I've been blessed in my career to have some great guards that can do that, you know, get under 10 seconds and you have the ball in their hands. And not only, I think the hardest thing in women's basketball is to find a player that can create for themselves and create for others. It's really easy to get a shot off, but it's really difficult to create for other people. And both of those kids, if you put the ball in their hands under 10 seconds, they're going to create not only for themselves, but they can create for other people. And I think we did a better job. I've always been a 5-out motion kind of guy, and really the gaps aren't that big in 5-out. It looks like it's wide open, but the gaps aren't. Going to 4 and 1, we've opened up the gaps a little bit, and I saw a lot more productivity. You know, such stubborn coaches, sometimes it takes a while before we make changes. And when we made a change at the end of the year, I thought we became more productive. So we're going to do more of that this year. Put them in a better position to be able to do that with 10 seconds. You know, I'm anxious to see if there's going to be anybody. I think the only people that stop us is us. If we shoot 28% and all that, and we're getting good shots, you know, and like I tell them, I can't go make a shot for them. We're going to make shots. And we're really, you know, I take a page out of Mike Lotief's, man. They're in the cage, pounding the balls, pounding the ball. We're doing the same thing. We're pounding the rim, man. We're shooting, and we're putting a lot more time in than we've ever done. And, you know, we need to make shots, you know. And, you know, I always say that we don't need shooters this year. We need makers. We need people that are going to make shots.
Is that kind of a product, because I remember last offseason, it was defense, and then you felt maybe you should have went to offense. Is that kind of a product of learning from your mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, there's no doubt. You know, you gotta build the backbone. The backbone of our program is defense. But for us to get to the next level, we have to create some offense. And it just, you know, which one do you do first? You can't do both. You know, so that's what we did. You know, our first 3 years, we really focused on building defense, and I think we're there. You know, and now we got to build some offense, and we have some tools. We have some players that can do that. I think we have some real talented players that you know, we go out and continue to work that we can do this.
Coach, how much of an effect do you think the new structure of the game, the women's game, is going to change the way you do things? The 4 quarters and the no 1-and-1 and 5 fouls per quarter. How do you think that's going to change women's basketball?
Yeah, I think it's going to change. It's going to speed it up a lot. You know, I think, you know, I'm not sure how it's going to affect us as much on the defense. They've already affected us big time. I got, you know, my first year at UL as a head coach, they changed everything about the hand check, and it was like, wow, I got to start doing something else, because we were getting 50 fouls called on us and all that. So we adjusted it, and we did. But you know, these new rules about trying to bring more scoring and speed up the game, and I just really think you can't beat the game. You know, I think it's going to be what it is. You know, we were talking about this weekend. We got to make our kids better shooters. You know, that's what's going to score. You know, but yeah, the 2 shots. I mean, you're looking at a completely different game as far as for the 10-second call, you know, the backcourt, and there's a lot of issues that I'm anxious to see. For me, I'm more concerned about what we do right now. I'm hoping it doesn't affect us too much, and as we go, but it really could. You know, there's a lot. That's some big changes, I think.
You've had Kia in your back pocket now for 4 years. How important is it this season particularly to start grooming that backup for the foreseeable future, and you know, just to have someone reliable?
Yeah, we're doing that already with Jay. We have Jay on the second quad right now running the point, and then sometimes we pull Kiki. But Jay's going to be important because you know, we got some commitments and already, and I can't say their names, but we got some good point guards coming in. We really do. We're excited. We saw a junior college point guard yesterday. It's just freaking, I mean, just phenomenal. So, you know, it's going to be recruiting, but they'll be freshmen. So I think Jay will be the answer. I really do. We recruited Jalen Garden to be a point guard for her, and she just kind of stepped back. I don't know what the deal was. You know, she saw Kiki and liked them and didn't want to jump in front of them. That's what I felt. She didn't want to compete with them, and now she needs to compete. You know, and I think this year is going to be a big year for her, and you know, to continue on for the following year with all the young kids we'll be bringing in.
Anything else, guys?
Coach, after we spoke on the phone, after we talked on the interview on the show, Coach Murph called in and we did, and I asked him about possibly getting, which he said he was going to call. Do you have any type of progress? Maybe if you guys discussed doing what we talked about, having that scrimmage on campus.
Yeah. Well, we haven't. You know, we've been out recruiting and doing all that. We hadn't really spoke too much about it, but yeah, we would like to try to. Talk about Midnight Madness or whatever, something like that. It's just a little bit more difficult to do, but we would like to try to do something. And I hadn't had time to talk to Bob about it yet, but we definitely I'll be remiss not to thank our community first. You know, everybody knows my wife passed, and the community was really good, but the community of the media was just absolutely awesome. You know, Kevin Foote, I mean, can't ever say anything enough for your uplifting article about my wife. I really appreciate it, every one of y'all. It's big for our family, and you know, our family is part of UL. And then I also want to say about Scott Farmer, there's nowhere in America that I could have did this but at UL. He's allowed me, instead of resigning or stepping aside and taking a leave of absence, he allowed me to stay in this position, and he allowed our team to learn a lot from what happened. And again, it's just what the Cajuns are. Is we're for one another. We talk about it. We may complain a lot about it, but we're for one another. And I mean, I just cannot, never thank y'all enough. But I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Coach.